was Texas Hold'em with the Devil, and I shot it and cut it, and we have actually the Devil right there, as well as one of the cartoons.
Hi, I'm Alicia Giangrososmi. I was Ramona in Backstory that just played.
I'm Seth Ruben Jacobson. I wrote and directed that piece with these marvelous actors that I'm surrounded by.
Sarah McDonald, I was the director.
Ernest Mingione, I was the postman.
Do we have any questions for our filmmakers here? Anyone want to throw a question out there? Okay, I can. Just a couple basic things so we understand. Is this anyone's first screening? First time screening? First time screening this film?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, let's start with that. I know when I screen, I learn things. Any takeaways from today?
Get here on time. I just got in here just as it started. It was a little
Check the schedules.
rough.
Okay. How about people that have screened before? Is there anything that please?
We have a number of times backstory. And God, I still can't get Dad's mix right. That disturbed me. But I was really happy with the performances. These guys nail it every time.
Amazing consistency. I'm sure every room you screened in had a different sound system.
No.
So,
I'm gonna have to own this one.
yeah, it's okay. Questions, anyone? Okay, let's talk about. Oh, great. Go ahead.
I was just wondering, so where was it actually filmed?
Oh, let's get location. Yeah, great.
If you're asking me, it was filmed at the Crane Theater, which actually gets a little bit of a moment in the very first scene. That's where the rain is. That's on East 4th Street, or was, it is, or the building still is. And we're not sure if the theater still is.
Right.
The sign is not, or it's like kind of, But now I'm hearing from somebody who I just met today, she says she thinks it's still going. So I don't know, the crane may like keep coming back, or not, but it's a small, like old theater, and that's where we shot it. It's a difficult shoot.
The Texas Hold'em was shot in an apartment with lots of black paper, and our best to kind of hide the fact where we were.
Yeah, nice. Worked. Anything else from the audience? Please.
Just what motivated your stories? Like, why did you want to make these movies and tell these stories?
John, you can start.
This gentleman here, Greg Pursino, my producer, came to me with the story, and I had a meeting with him, and we talked about it, and really just kind of vices and virtues, trying to, show that, and I went ahead and did it. This is like the first time I did a movie that was not from me. It was somebody else's idea completely, and I'm trying to bring their vision to life.
I just got to say one thing. Makeup man.
And of course, Percy, our
Percy.
makeup. Did a great job on Keith, who was a devil. That was
He actually made me look better looking.
the devil part. That was one day
Well, you were
itself.
just acting natural though, right?
Just his little devil freak out. We put the horns on him,
Yeah.
painted him red, changed him up, and it took a day to shoot that alone.
I just want to say I really loved it. And are you a Hold'em player? Like I was thinking, like somebody's really into Texas Hold'em, or was that just sort of?
That was my cousin's husband. Real big pain in the ass at the time to do this. But
I didn't think we were gonna cover this.
he's one of these guys that put $1,500 a month and they all get together to play cards. He's got money. And it was still a pain in the ass. But,
It was a difficult shoot.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Well, we can compare difficulties. We had a strike at 5. All right, we had a strike at 5, which was insane, and we did all the striking. all of us were, gaffing and so on. So we did all the striking. We had a strike because the theater was still going at that night. So we had to basically put everything away perfectly. You guys were gone by then. And then the next day we had to reset everything, right? So it was not the way to shoot.
I think I got you on that one.
Okay.
It took us, I'm doing camera tests to make sure everything, nothing was seen. And on the day of shooting, our producer, his cousin shows up, and we had everything thought out. He laid out everything for us, and
Months.
we worked on this for a couple months to get the set built. And he comes in and he says, "Oh, I want it this way," literally. And I'm like, "What are you talking about? We can't. We're shooting today." And he basically, if you notice in that movie, when you see the poker chips, they're backwards. Okay, they were. I had to flop the movie to make this guy happy because I had to shoot it the way I had set it up. And actually, we used really large cards for the table. And if you ever watch it again, if you look at the table, all the cards are kind of reversed. But you really don't notice that when, is the diamond over here or over here? You really don't, it's not something you think of.
I wrote my college thesis film. I wrote my script for my college thesis, and it took place around a poker game. But I don't really play a lot of poker, and I was like, well, I'm just going to kind of write a story around poker. It's not about playing poker. And as I started to block out my scenes and stuff like that, I was like, I obviously need to know poker. It took me obviously, so it's funny. It's I afterward started writing in okay, this hand has to go, whatever. So it's just funny. I was like, oh wow, because it wasn't none of it in the script. Really. It was just around the game. But anyway, that's fun.
What's your point saying is that you start off with something and then in the middle of the process you realize, oh, get here on time.
Right.
Oh, make sure the guy wants it, and you have to reverse it. You have to go.
There's a theme here. Yeah.
Jump on.
Well, this is of course the dilemma that you have as an independent filmmaker, because you don't have the budget to hire a big staff where there's triple redundancy built in at every step, and you're basically just there and you say, okay, the actors are ready for you. It's no, that's a different scene.
I had a prop guy and everything. I thought I was covering all my bases, and I just was like, oh right, I need to think about this part. So, yeah.
Well, nothing really goes ABC, ABC in order.
Right.
It's ABC, F, G, stuff like that.
Exactly.
And you got to be on your toes and be prepared for the changes, Things like
It's all
that.
part of problem solving, right? Really, filmmaking is just problem solving at the end of the day.
Learning on the fly.
I saw a hand back there. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, a question for Alicia. Have you played a femme fatale character before, and if so or not, what did you bring to that role from, say, other femme fatale characters?
It's a great question. I have played other femme fatale roles, but I've not done a noir. And I think one of the things that I really loved to play with Ramona was the setting of being able to kind of play that. For me, I played her very honestly, and I know it's funny because watching it back, I don't remember doing those things that I did. But I was thinking, what if I were Ramona, were really in this situation as a character, and I was surprised how funny it would come off. But I think that with comedy, it's finding the truth in the comedy. So even though I played other femme fatale roles, it was different because it was a noir, and it was different because it was the relationships and the story we were trying to tell. So I wanted to bring elements of kind of her manipulating and thinking, but I didn't want to throw that at you. So it was just kind of building that throughout the piece.
Yeah, excuse me, what made you decide to shoot it in black and white?
Oh, well, it was obvious when we got to the set and really looked at it. It was the colors of the New York Mets. So it was orange and blue, and it was I was thinking about shooting black and white, and then when I got, but I'll be honest, I had to, I wasn't sure. But when I got to the set, I was sure.
Everything was black and white anyway.
What else? How else we can hide orange and blue? So the beauty of black and white, and I'm a big advocate of it, I want to keep shooting with it, is that, it kind of, it takes you out, you're watching a movie, and so, and it also simplifies things. when you're shooting independently, it simplifies things. Perfect example, right? You know, you can use sets that maybe you couldn't use if you're shooting color. That's one issue. But it simplifies things also for, it accentuates light, you know, in a way that it's very hard to do with color. It can be done, but not at all, you know, not with the budgets that I have.
Good point, though, the simplicity, you know.
Yeah, I just wonder, how did you get Sorvino to be in it?
It wasn't difficult, because I'm a part of the Brazen Giant group, and he runs that. So I said, Bill, you're this. Well, actually, it's more than that. He actually was reading it a lot, and he knew the character. We played with it a lot. We didn't really do any rehearsals, outside of all the readings we did.
He did great in that role, that was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really did great.
He had some good facial expressions.
Yeah,
The eyeballs, most of them.
I got a random question. This is for both filmmakers, but also maybe for the actors as well. You know, making a project of any kind, any length it's a time commitment. It's a commitment of your energy. It's a commitment of yourself in many ways. What is it about these projects that you decided, you know what, I definitely want to spend time on this. I definitely want to spend revision time on this. I want to make this a good product and show it to other people. What is it about these projects for you that made you want to invest that time for yourself? Or whoever wants to start.
Yeah.
For me, it's always about the people. Now, I know that's not true for every director. It's not, but it is for me. It's about working with people that I like to work with. And so that we developed this as a group, and it, like, of course you guys are doing it. Like, so it's fun. It's really fun to develop with actors a piece.
Yeah.
You know, it's a different way to work, definitely, than the way most people are working today. But it's more of a, you know, probably an older style, but still, I think, a great style.
Actor's director, right?
Because it's all these guys that make it magical.
Sure.
You know.
I'm gonna just real quick. I've been absolutely obsessed with the show Severance. So yeah, and I listen to the podcast now. So again, I'm really far down the rabbit hole here. But Ben Stiller is, you know, the main sort of director there. You know, they've been bringing others, but as an actor first, he's an actor director. He talks a lot on the podcast about, you know, people picking their hairstyles or their accents or their, you know, like different. He's got Christopher Walken in there, you know, and Patricia Arquette talking about what color hair they wanted and all this kind of stuff. And it's just really cool to listen to him be like, yeah, I mean, here's the story. I've got Patricia Arquette here. Like, what do you want to do with this? You know, and so she got to take some risks and all that. And it's just really great when you can find that. I'm sure as an actor, but I find that process to be fantastic. You got to turn it over at some point, right, to kind of like let it become real, you know, in my mind.
Well, we read it in the Brazen Giant group, which is this particular group. We bring in material. There are others in this festival, the Disky Brothers, Melissa Skirble, right now as we speak. Anyway, so we bring in material and we work it, and we have great actors in the group. And it gets better. It gets better. It gets better. You hear it, and you're like, wait a minute, I can't leave that in or that stage.
Please, go ahead.
I can't quite remember your question, but what got me involved in it was he brought it to me. It's kind of hard when it's not your vision, it's somebody else's, because you've got to, you know, do you like this? Is this okay? I actually had to stay on the phone with the guy for about an hour doing a storyboard over the phone, and that was
Not me, though.
That wasn't him. It was his cousin.
That was Mr. Pain in the ass.
Yeah, this was the most challenging shoot I've ever done, and it was unfortunately due to the fact that the producer, who didn't get involved in pre-production, then became overly involved in production and post-production. So once I got the ball rolling, you know, it's very hard to throw stuff onto a blank page, but once you've got something there, somebody else can come along and say, well, let's do this, let's do that, let's change this, and you know, maybe if you told me that beforehand, I wouldn't have wasted my time doing all this extra work.
Mike could cite the overall vision to you and part of that conversation, you know. So yeah, it's hard when people come in after. Even, you know, I like to do like table reads and rehearsals and things, just like we were talking about involving actors. Like, that's the time to do that, I thought, you know, it's not so much, I mean, things happen on set too, but it's not really on set. On set, we're capturing what we spoke about, we already spoke about this, you know, like.
Yeah, like once you go to the set, you're supposed to be, the plan's done.
Right, here's the plan.
We're not making changes
We've already
anymore.
done it, yeah.
We're
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
this
yeah.
and then.
Right, yeah.
Well, you can do a lot of takes on a set if you're set up for that.
Totally. As I'm saying that, like, there's plenty of things that happen on set that are different, but, than what you talked about.
In fact, one of my actors, I'm not gonna say who, doesn't like to rehearse.
Interesting.
And he told me that. He goes, I really don't like to rehearse. I want to come there. I'll do my lines cold. He did. But he also said we could shoot as many times as we want. You know? And I wanted to shoot a lot more, but again, it was that freaking constraint at 5 p.m. would be out.
Yeah.
Don't ever do that. If you're producing a film, do never have a 5 p.m. because that's when, you know, by late afternoon, all the actors are like, they're warm. They're just like, you know, all right, we had a script.
And you're almost cutting corners at that point too. You're like, we've got like 2 hours. We got like, yeah.
Yeah, so don't ever do that. Learn from me. I guess, so yeah, developing comedy, I think you have to do it in table reads and lots of them.
I agree. Yeah. Comedy and like anything that's even maybe some romance or something too. Because you gotta like spark like a. There has to be a connection of some kind. Like it can't just be raw, like cold on screen, you know. But anyway, I'm sure other accomplished directors will tell me something else. But you know what I mean? That's the way I would do it. Any other questions or comments or anything?
I just want to say, I felt that everyone were very great actors,
Yeah.
well acted.
Yeah, it was very well acted.
With the black and white look and everything, it just, I don't know, just meshed well.
Thank you.
And you were really good. I mean, like, as a bad guy, I was like, you're a bad guy.
Wait,
From one bad guy to
I'm not a
another.
bad girl.
I was just a bad director.
Might have you doing that.
Not bad, just nasty.
I think we have one more question up front too, right? You want one? So, no.
Oh, yeah, just saying that the whole process that is not autocratic, that is everybody has a piece to contribute, that you're all part of the tapestry. And that only comes, as you were saying, over time, over discussion, and then stuff comes out at the last minute too, ad lib or comedy or, you know, something you don't expect. But it's not top down, autocratic, everybody just be a pawn.
Right.
And that's what makes great film in my opinion.
Right. And then it's a great point. And if you can do it, and so I'm a photographer, I mean, a lot of times I have seconds to get a shot, you know, and so how do you pull that out of somebody in just seconds? Yeah, it's hard. So anyway, let's get another big round of applause for that. Sounds like there's still screening downstairs. If we're leaving, just please leave quietly. If you want to hang out here and hang out and network a little bit, that's fine too. We will do our awards show in the main room. When they're done, you have to turn the room over. So yeah, we'll see you.